I think the worst and best thing that happened to me, I was 55 overall, no bad attribute, no bad. Just dealing with an elite woman. Got so much insight and game from them and never moved dumb again. Okay, there was a time I was messing with an elite woman. She was 15 years older than me at the time. Well, she'll always be 15 years older than me, I guess. And she was going through a divorce, a multi-million-dollar divorce at that. And she was a very rich woman in her own regard. And I don't know if we want to go there tonight, chat. I don't know if we want to go there tonight, chat. I have to think about this. How can I tell this interesting dynamic and story without cause I can't make my life up, bro. It's just so weird. I don't think, nah, like I said at the beginning of the first story I told earlier, I'm not giving a fuck, bro. No, it's not too federal. I know I'm smooth enough with my communication to not be overly revealing. But yeah, this one was 15 years older than me. Unironically had a son older than me by like a year, though. He wasn't that much older than me. But I remember her son looked grown as fuck, because when I used to see him leave her apartment, I was like, nigga, is that a man? No. Or so I was told, right? Now for me, she was like way more active in the game, dating and shit like that. On my end, said ads just ran, so I might wait for the ads just ran before I get in this. Give me more time to think about how to really dictate this story. Fuck it, it's after hours. Nah, we going there, bro. Fuck it. Okay, I was right. Ads did run. All right, so look, let me start from the top, bro. So it's an interesting dynamic where I would prefer no donos or nothing that's going to interrupt me telling my story.
My last two exes, as in soul bonded, spiritually married with them, and she, if you what I mean, and I high-key played in their face and slimed them a while back, and I move along with life, but I feel like a terrible immoral person in the back of my head about TS, and there's no talking to them again. Yuck, I gotta eat that, but what do you think of them type situations?
See, when you drop your integrity, you forever change the dynamic of your relationship. Forever change it. All right, but like I'm saying, so it was this time I was messing with this older woman. She was in the middle of a divorce. She was 15 years older than me. And she was a multi-millionaire. Her and her husband, can't say their business. I'm not telling all these. These are things I know, but I'm just not saying it because it just starts getting too specific. So they had multiple businesses together. I can't remember what their most successful one was. But he was older than her. He was older than her by like 10 years. They had been together for a very long time. Since she was like teenagers. Since they were like teenagers. Or her, I guess. And they got rich together. They did all types of stuff. And I never, you know what's so interesting, chat? In this particular apartment I lived in at the time, it was in a wealthier area, right? A very safe area, very nice area. Rent was considered high for just the state in general. So a lot of the people in there, this is what I literally instantly noticed about like elite or rich people with a lot of money. They will have multiple spots. This was her thing. Like, they will have multiple homes, right? I feel like this is a if you know type of thing. Like, it will be a guy with an entire family. I remember one time my neighbor, this is a random story, this is another example though of proof that this is consistent. I remember a neighbor let me borrow their like nail gun because I was trying to mount a TV, and I didn't have like the drill gun. And I went to his apartment, and his apartment was for himself, but he had pictures of his entire family around there. You know, I'm just doing small talk. I'm like, oh, there's your kids. And he's like, yeah, my wife and kids, they're back at my house. And this nigga had a whole separate apartment, which he just lived in from time to time whenever he wanted to. Back to my rich neighbor, though. You know, the Cougar. Call her Cougar. Back to Cougar. I knew she had money for months because she had 3 cars. She had 3 cars, 2 of them being Mercedes-Benz, And I can't remember what the third one was, but she kept rotating this red car. It was like a black car, and I can't remember the other one. I literally can't remember the other one for some reason. But two of them were Benz, like newer model ass Benz. Talking about fishbowl and all, like she ain't give a fuck. And then she stayed with some fly shit on, bro. Like she was gonna give you a Chanel bag. She was gonna give you, you know what I'm saying, designer shoes. She looked like she went to the gym a lot. Like she used to wear a lot of gym gear and stuff like that. Whatever the case may be. But like messing with her has, oh my, like, bro, it like updated my relationships with women in so many ways, especially sexually. Because one thing she really showed me with her level of maturity, obviously if you're 15 years older, this is just what you expect. But it even just, I mean, I'm gonna add this too. When it comes to like an elite woman who has a lot of money to protect her resources, it's shit she won't even allow you to do. Like this woman was so strict. I never signed an NDA, but like she wouldn't do nothing without a condom. Like if you a guy, you know how women aren't usually strict. Like they don't give a fuck about shit like that sometimes. If it's in the moment, you fuck around. Y'all might use a condom from time to time, but y'all supposed to. Like y'all know how that shit can get. Nigga, she was strict about that stuff. Like to the point, I can't even remember if I got head from her without a condom. Like she was crazy, bruh. Like she did not play no games and want to take no risk. So like, she always said, can't do no babies. Nope, no babies. No. Like she was like 38, I think, at the time. And what's it called? And I remember just another reflection of her maturity. A lot of, not just women, but guys too, a lot of people when it comes to sex, they have their ego tied into it, right? So for example, a guy might not be willing to use a toy or a prop in the bedroom, whereas though a woman will. Like I told y'all, in the threesomes I've had with women, I've seen women multiple times pull out rose toys. Pull out a rose toy, pull out lubricant and oil and shit. Not lubricant, but oil the body down. Pearl Tune, I appreciate the 57 months, gang.
Been a minute since I tuned it. WSG
so,
in the dojo.
You know, we appreciate that, gang. So we reach a level of maturity, and motherfuckers just really get involved with all the concepts. There's no shame in the game. There's no, the conversations around sex are just very open and transparent. And it's something this woman did I'll never forget, right? So, Lou, this is TMI, but it relates to me giving her props for the situation. I don't know why. I don't necessarily care for head, personally, as a man. I don't know why. It ain't even like, oh man, you must not have had great eaters. Like, I like head, but like, you gotta be an elite level eater. Otherwise, my stamina for it is just crazy. Like I'm just not coming off no whack ass head, basically. Like you gotta be dumb ass tough, right? So be more over. I appreciate the 5 gifted subs. So she notices this, right? Like I'm not like she not really making a nigga tap out maybe as fast as she used to, whatever. And in comparison, I've had a girl before not make me nut off head and threaten to cut me off if I didn't nut because it made her feel insecure. Like, and this was because her ego was tied into her sexual performance. So because I didn't nut off her head, she was like, oh, you don't like it, and that equals I'm a bad person and I suck at this and I'm low value, or her self-esteem was being impacted by that, right? So meanwhile, in comparison to that, like this was a girl like my age. So in comparison to that, there's this woman 15 years older than me. When she recognized she couldn't make me nut off head like she wanted to, you know what she did? She literally stopped and was like, beat your dick. I said, I don't know why I said why. I can't even remember if I said why, but she ended up explaining herself to say, I want to see how you please yourself in order for me to know how to please you. And that completely changed my psychology and perspective when it comes to sex, because it's like, it's so many things that we treat like the elephant in the room, or we have too much pride or shame to like not talk about it or not want to confront it. And here in comparison, like I said, to the last girl who just her pride was her ego was her, and she just was fucked up about it. This woman grabbed the bull by the horns and was literally like, let's get it right. Like, what's up? And it's like that shit forever just changed my mentality towards that shit, because you never know. Like, and why treat it like something that you should be afraid of or something you should be embarrassed of, when it could be something you can embrace, when it could be something you can handle with straight poise and maturity. You know what I'm saying? Patreon niggas, right. I'm being more open just in general on content, so everything is, my Patreon niggas know I'm very, very, very unfiltered on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? What's good, H Jordan? I appreciate that, gang. No, definitely shout out Raw, man. It definitely makes it easier for the next generation of Philly niggas to be creating content. I just met 1K Legacy at the pool party. Like, back when I first came out, it was nobody. Not even the Philly Ghost, not Raw, nothing. Like, it was like, make it or die, nigga. Make it or die. Mingo number one roller? No, he more than a number one roller. He finna be T1 if he really lock in with it. So does it eventually become OC? No, definitely. I mean, the whole purpose of me telling that story was just to talk about the levels of fucking with women, gang, and like the maturity of messing with somebody essentially way out of your league. I'm not even gonna lie, like, she was out of my league, gang. This bitch had more money than me, was older than me, more experienced than me. Like, she mogged me in every category a nigga could get mogged in, and yet she handled it with so much grace and so much poise. And you know, it used to be a lot of things she used to do too. Like, she used to buy my dog hella gifts. Like, I'm talking about, like, if you have a dog, the average dog toy is probably like $20, $15. I'm talking about, she'd bring up multiple bags of toys and just all at once. Oh, he needs new bones. Oh, he needs new this. He needs new that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? What you want to eat tonight? Asking what you want from the grocery store. And guess what? She didn't eat regular groceries, gang. Like, she was getting the Amish shit. Like, the fucking, that shit was like brands you never seen on just random ass products, and you looking at like, you ain't get this shit from the supermarket. Like, where the fuck you getting this shit from? Like, I'm talking about, she took care of her health and everything that she cared about that much. And it was like, gang, like, thought I have time to make some food. We doing a 6 hours tonight, right? Nigga, how do I tell you, this stream finna be over real soon? What do you think attracted her to you? I feel like if I say the answer, it just, that might be too federal. I don't know. Maybe she could tell I don't like, I'm not messy. There's a reason here that I feel like matters and it's worth saying. She was close enough to my apartment where she could hear me have sex, and she's blatantly told me that she's heard me having sex. Now, I don't know if this played a factor in her attraction towards me or not, but this is what she told me. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I like to think I'm handsome. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was very interesting. Very, very interesting dynamic, bro. I feel like if I ever wrote a book, bro, if y'all ever see a book wrote for me, I'm gonna go into way more detail. I'm never gonna say names or do anything overly exposing, but I feel like when I deal with situations like this, it teaches me so much because I just intellectualize everything. I feel like I'm always just analyzing a situation because, bro, it would be literally times she would be on the phone with her in the process of getting divorced husband, and she would go straight into like submissive wife mode, sitting on my lap. And like I said, she was 15 years older than me, and her husband was like 10 years older than her. So he was going through you could tell like he was just getting slower as a person. So she damn near literally almost started to be able to talk to him like her mom, his mom, excuse me, not her mom, but his mom. You were 23, I think I was 20. Yeah, I was 22, 23 at the time. How does the parents not be no, this didn't happen here. This was years ago. This did not happen here. This is when I had my last dog. I'm 24 now, chat. So I think I was like 22 at the time. No, actually I was 22. Nah, bro, it's like she coming in the dominant role, but she chose to submit the role with you. No, for sure. A lot of that is like when you set up the dynamics for a gang, like it'll be right. Women are nastier than men when they truly want you. No, for sure, gang. Not even just when they truly want you, but when they comfortable, bro. They all got that side to them. Yeah, the crib with the moon in the background. You know? But yeah, chat, it's other shit like that. I ain't gonna lie, I be ending up in situations, gang, and it just be like, how the fuck did I get here? It's like a level of plot armor, but it's like a level of like, it has to be like when Darth Vader realized he had the Force. Like, it's like you like blessed with a curse. It's so conflicting. Doing the BBL. Mary Jones be going irregardless. What one of the BBL I talked about? How do I get to the point where women treat me that way? Like the simple answer, you know, you just work on yourself and shit like that. But you gotta understand, bro. I think, or I believe, that people can read a lot about you based on how you carry yourself. So, you know, people, you could just give off the energy that you don't run your mouth. And, you know, you just really have to work on yourself enough to where you don't live for other people's validation. I know I'm telling these stories on stream, and I've told a couple on stream today, but I didn't tell them from a place of validation. I was telling them for a place of purpose. Like, I was just sharing something, and then, like, things that are, like, just wow to me or interesting to me. But, like, if you're on some shit where, like, you gonna tell everybody and, you know, you gonna call your group chat and you want to get videos and share them around the world. I mean, even people like that get pussy. So it's like, I don't know, maybe this is not true. But I feel like for me personally, a lot of the stuff that I experience comes from the fact that people who just get to know me a little bit, and they can tell, like, I'm not the guy that's going to run his mouth. I'm not the guy that's going to put their business out there. I'm not the guy that even, you know, I'm not very judgmental either. Like, you could be addicted to drugs. You could have 200 bodies, and you'll never feel my judgment. Like, I'm not gonna red pill you and just look at you like, you dirty whore. Like, you probably would never even know how I feel about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm very reserved in that sense. So it allows people to get comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And people comfortable, they show their real self. Every time.